Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren, also known as Cross Stitch Bunny here on YouTube and over on Instagram. Today is the 28th of February and this Flosstube episode is going to cover all of my February stitching because I did not get round to doing a mid-month update. Had a lot going on, family birthdays, I had a visit to my parents' house during the kids' holidays, which kept me away from home for about 4 days. Had a lovely time. It was really nice to catch up with my mum and dad, and we went out and did loads of fun things with the kids. I didn't get a lot of stitching done. I didn't take any with me at all, so I knew that my stitching in February would be a bit less than usual, so rather than split everything into 2 episodes and doing my usual bi-weekly schedule, I thought I would just round the entire month up as a whole so that I have a little bit more to share with you and show you. And I do feel like overall I've had a really good stitchy month. So today I will be sharing 7 projects with you, which I think is the most that I've shared in a single episode for quite some time, like whip parades aside. Typically, I think I get round to working on maybe 4 or 5 projects at a maximum in between my usual 2-week schedule. But today we have 7 things to look at. And 3 of those things are finishers. 3 of them are new starts, but 1 of them is both a new start and a finish, if that makes sense. So yeah, let's get on with it. We will start with the finishers. With it having been the month of February, I did do a little bit of Valentine stitching, and this was a perfect project for me to stitch on as part of the Twinkle Tuesdays that myself and Rosie X Stitchers have been hosting, and I have a finish. So this is my Marina Demina or Little Room in the Attic finish, and it is Creepy Valentine. Twinkle Tuesdays is where we stitch on something with sparkle, whether it's beads or sparkly fabric or sparkly threads, and this project is absolutely full of gold and purple sparkly thread. It's all dotted around all over. I absolutely love this finish. Love all the detail in it, and it was really nice to do some seasonal stitching. So this is finish number 1, and I started this I think in January, so this was not one of my new starts, but this was a finish. I just really like it. Obviously it's inspired by Nightmare Before Christmas loosely, with the pumpkin king vase, like skeleton Jack. And then you've got your embroidery scissors here, like fancy scissors that are cutting the heads off the flowers. I just really like this. Obviously very Valentine's themed, but not particularly cute, which makes its name very appropriate, I think, Creepy Valentine. So that is my first finish to share with you. I stitched this on a 32 count linen from my own Stitch Bunny shop. It is the Nostalgia print linen. Just a very nice neutral background, and all of this I think was stitched with CXC, but I would actually need my book to check that. I don't have my book to hand. I'm pretty sure I did this with CXC and the cord for Cry Neck. I don't really buy CXC anymore, but I do have a fair collection of it. So when I have a smaller project and I have all the colours in my CXC stash, it's a good way just to use it up. So that is finish 1, and that was being stitched 2/2. I always stitch 2/2 unless I specifically mention otherwise. So that is finish 1. My next finish is from the Sweet Wings Studio collection of Wordy birds. So this is like a seasonal sale taking us the entire way through a year with a seasonal piece for every month. So far, January, February and March have been released. I am waiting for the April pattern to actually hit my inbox, although I have seen a preview of it on Sweet Wings Instagram, but I've not had the email saying that one's ready to download yet. So I'm waiting patiently for that one, but we are sort of a month ahead with receiving the pattern. So obviously I don't need the April pattern yet. I need to be getting on with March, but this is the January pattern. So I started this in January and it is now a finish. I just think this is absolutely beautiful. I fell in love with this particular pattern. This was the one that we got to see before committing to the sale, and I was instantly hooked. I just thought it was a wonderful, wonderful pattern. So pretty. There is a really huge amount of stitching in this bottom band. So with this, I had finished everything else and I just had this one band left to do across the bottom. And according to Pattern Keeper, I was only at about 70, I think it was like 69 or 70% finished. So pretty much 30% of the entire stitch count in the design is just in this bottom border, which you wouldn't necessarily think to look at it, but because this border here at the bottom is essentially like, it's only that strip, but it is a full coverage strip going across that bottom, you finish the rest of it and you've got 30% left to go, which seems crazy because the design looks like it's almost complete at that stage. So yeah, that was hard going, just getting that border done at the end, but it is absolutely lovely. All these pretty little flowers in it, and I just love this design. I love the little birds. They are so super cute. Absolutely stunning design. So yes, big thank you to Sweet Wing Studio for designing such a lovely series of charts. I have loved all of them so far. And also a big thank you to Anita for helping me to correct my mistake that I mentioned in my past Flosstube and enabled me to fix this without too much drama. I am stitching all of the Wordy Bird series on 32 count fabric. So this is a 32 count Zweigart blue splash. It's just the blue with like the little white snow print splashes on it. I think it works very nicely for this design. And I stitched this one, I think, with Royal Broidery. I finished this very early in January, so I'm very early in February, so I'm trying my best to remember, but I'm pretty sure that I stitched this one with Royal Broidery threads. If not Royal Broidery, it was DMC or a mix of the two, but yeah, 100% cotton thread, no CXC in this one. So that is Wordy Birds January. My second finish for February was the next Wordy Birds pattern. So this was my pattern that was both a new start and a finish. I finished my January one very early in the month of February and I moved straight on to February's design. And here we are. So this is February's, whoopsie, this is February's finished design. Home is where the heart is. And again, you've got two cute birds, these lovely little like envelopes and flowers, the writing, and once again, an epic border at the bottom, which exactly like the January design, this border accounted for approximately 30% of the stitching in the entire design. I think that is going to be the theme throughout all of these patterns because they are very similar in their layout, all of them, and they all have this same size band at the bottom. I'm very pleased with this one. I think it is so cute. I love the colours. I am stitching this on I stitched this again on a 32 count, but this is a linen. There's Wygart fabric I used for January was an even weave, but this is a linen. I don't really mind switching between sort of linens or even weaves for this series as long as they're all on 32 count. They're not going to be displayed together or anything like that, so yeah, I don't mind switching between fabric types, but I do want to keep them all on the same count so that they will all be the same size. So yes, this is February's design and this is being stitched with DMZ. I finished this one more recently, so I can remember that this one was kitted purely with DMZ. And this linen, I'm not sure what it is. It isn't one of mine that I've dyed myself. It's just a random one from my stash. That is finish number 2. Finish number 3. I'm getting my numbers muddled today. We are then going to move on to whips, because that is all 3 of my finishes, and I have started the Wordy Birds March already, so I am just ever so slightly ahead of myself. This is an absolutely lovely pattern. I will pop it on the screen for you to have a little look at the overall design, and I actually started this yesterday. I had not stitched for about 9 days because between going to my mum's and then having various things going on when we got home, I literally went 8 or 9 days without picking up a needle. And yesterday I'd finally got on top of everything, got all the things done that needed doing, and I had a little bit of a quiet stitchy afternoon. Today is actually my birthday. Hence my lovely birthday flowers over here, but I knew that today I was going to be really busy. I've had a massively busy morning. I've got a short break now to film this, and then I've got loads more stuff going on later this afternoon, none of which is fun or birthday related. So knowing that, yesterday I did have the time to sit down and stitch, and I had a little bit of a quiet stitchy afternoon watching a film. I watched A Star is Born, which I know came out in like 2018, but I've never watched it. I've wanted to watch it. I've tried to put it on the TV a couple of times with Adam, and he was like, I'm not watching this. Within the first 2 minutes, he was uninterested. So he was out yesterday, and I decided to finally sit down and watch it. Really enjoyed it, but also it just had me crying at the end. I had no idea what it was about, and yeah, it was really sad. But I did get loads of stitching done. So this was all stitched yesterday, all of it. It was a brand new start yesterday, and look how much I've done. I'm so impressed with myself. Look at this. So I've gone a different tactic with this, and I decided to start with doing the border at the bottom to get that 30% chunk out of the way and done first, and then move on to what for me is the more fun bit, which is the lettering and the cute birds. Because on the other two, I did it the other way around, and then this border felt like a slog to get to the end. I thought I would reverse it. So I did start with a centre start, and then I moved on from this lettering to like the white here. And then I just used up the bit of white thread that was still on my needle just to do this letter here. But basically what I was trying to do is just get my centre starting point and then move down as quickly as possible to get to the border. So as soon as I hit that border, I have just stitched all of the pale colour the whole way across, so that is the whole width of the border, and then I started filling it in. So I think this whole design is about 3,800 stitches or thereabouts, and I put in like, I think about 1,200 stitches yesterday in one day. And I did time my stitching. I just tend to set a stopwatch thing when I start stitching. If I get up for any length of time to like stretch my legs, go to the bathroom, do something, I just hit stop on the button and start it again when I sit down. and over the course of yesterday afternoon and then also yesterday evening, my total hours stitched on this was 4 hours and 15 minutes. So yes, this is 4 hours and 15 minutes precisely of stitchy time. And I'm so pleased. I'm not quite a third of the way there, but I'm close. I'm close to 30% done, having only stitched on it for 1 day. So that is amazing. I'm really happy with the progress on this. I've gone for a little bit of an unusual fabric choice for this. So the model stitch was stitched on like a green based fabric, and I don't have that many green fabrics in my stash. I do have some lovely ones in my shop, but I wanted to avoid going and stealing from the shop stock, so I thought, no, I'm just going to use what I've got in my stash. And I came across this one. So this is a 32 count Murano from Zweigart, so it is an even weave, and it is like a very pale green, which I think is very nice for, like, you know, this is the March pattern, so this definitely is like a spring sort of colour. And then it's got the little dots on it, but it's not like a snow pattern because these dots are very evenly spaced in a specific pattern, like a very orderly layout. So it is literally, I'll just get as close as I can, it is literally just like a green polka dotted fabric. I wasn't 100% sure about it, but I like it. I think it's going to look lovely. Again, like I said, 32 count, sticking to that for all of them. So my goal for going into March will obviously to be finishing this, get it all done, and I've made a really good start. Also, I'm kind of going to class this as my birthday new start because I'm not having a new start today. I had a new start yesterday instead. So this is going to count as my birthday whip, even though I started it 24 hours early. When I finish filming this Flosstube and editing it, if I get any time at all today to stitch, which I'm not sure I will, but if I do get any stitchy time today, this is what I will be working on. So yeah, a little bit of a Wordy Birds episode really this is. That's 3 Wordy Bird designs that I've been working on. The next thing to show you is also a new start that I started earlier in the month of February, and it is my Flamingo bookmark. So this is the entire design. Like 3 flamingos, long and skinny, made in Scotland by Textile Heritage. So that is the artwork for it. Adam is ringing me, which is worrying. I have to check on that. It's worrying because he's taking some of our puppies to the vet, and I told him only to ring me if it was an emergency. And I'm back. So Adam's emergency, his emergency was that he was reminding me that we are needing to take a reading on the electric meter. That was the emergency. Although, to be fair, when I just rang him back because I missed the call, he said, I forgot you were floss tubing. I forgot. So yes, it wasn't an emergency. Everything is fine. This is where I am up to with my Flamingo bookmark. So I have done, it's hard to hold this without covering any stitching. I have done 2 flamingos, so I've got flamingo 1 there at the top, flamingo 2. I'm just trying to work out if flamingo 2 is completely finished. Yes, I think it is. Just having a look. So I've done 2 out of 3, got 1 flamingo left to stitch, and this will be a finish. And now actually I'm tempted. I said that I would work on my Wordy Birds later if I have time, but I'm tempted to actually work on this instead because I started this specifically because I need a bookmark. I have been getting back into reading a little bit more. I'm a big fan of audiobooks when stitching because it allows me to do both hobbies at once, but there is still something nice about reading a book. And I have started to read the Outlander series of books. and I've been using a nail file as my bookmark, and then I misplaced my nail file, so now I'm just using a scrappy piece of paper. So yes, I want a bookmark as soon as possible for my reading. So yes, this is probably actually the next one that I'm going to try and get finished. This is just on, I think it's a 14 count like piece of Ada band. It's already got like the scalloped edges, so you don't need to worry about finishing the edges. And it did come with some other finishing bits in the kit. So it comes with this piece of like blue felt, which you can obviously back it with like that when it's done to hide your stitching. And then it comes with this tassel as well, which is going to go somewhere, not sure where. I'll probably put it, I don't know, either at the top or the bottom, I guess, so that it's hanging out of the book one way or another. But yeah, those are my 2 out of 3 flamingos. Not too far from a finish on that. If I have time this evening, I could probably get that finished, and if I can find my hot glue, I could actually get it fully finished this evening. So that might be nice, because I'm not having an official birthday start. Maybe we will go for a birthday finish and FFO at the same time. That sounds like a good plan to me. That one obviously came as a kit, as I've shown you, so it has everything in it. Next is my Dragon Koi whip. The flamingos was a new start, hence me not putting a progress picture on the screen. So this is the first project we're looking at today that I actually need to show you where I was up to before. This is my Dragon Koi. I'll just slide this off so we can look at it properly. I've been working on this for a very long time, but I honestly don't get tired of this one with its beautiful colours. I'm slowly progressing to a finish. The design is by Nadezdha Gavrilenkova, and this is where I was last time you saw it. Now, you're not going to see a huge difference, but I have made a small bit of progress. So this is how we are looking right now. I've got to move back a bit to fit it on. It's quite a biggie. So what I've basically been doing since I last saw you, I've just done a couple of hours on this, and I was just filling in sort of around the water area here and around this fish, and then there is a bit more orange that's been put in. So visually it won't look very different, but I am just chipping away at lowering the number of remaining stitches. I haven't got my pattern keeper right next to me, but this is, I think, around 90% by now. And there's still quite a lot. I mean, all of this needs filling in. And there's still all bits and bobs here that need filling in. But really, compared to the size of the whole thing, this is a very sort of small area that is left. I just absolutely love this design. It's taken me an incredibly long time to get to this point with it, but it has been thoroughly enjoyable. Every time I pick this up, I enjoy it. It is never sort of a chore to stitch on this one. This is being stitched with CXC. I kitted it myself, started it in CXC quite a long time ago, as I mentioned, and I'm using 14 count black Ada. Not the best Ada, it's yeah, just like a cheap one, but to be fair, it was quite stiff when I started, and I've had this on the go for so long and I've worked on it so many times, it's definitely eased up. Yeah, the Ada is quite a bit softer than it was when I began. So there is my lovely Dragon Koi with all its stunning colours. The last whip to share with you today is my Maria Demina Whimsical alphabet. So this is the second Maria Demina pattern I'm sharing with you today. Again, this one needs to come out of its hoop. You're not going to be able to see it properly. And I've made some small progress on this for Twinkle Tuesdays. After I finished my creepy Valentine, like the most recent Twinkle Tuesdays, I picked out this one. So last time you saw it, it looked mostly the same, but I have done a little bit more. And this is where we are at the moment. So this girl here still needs her back stitch, but I didn't feel like back stitching on Twinkle Tuesday. I felt like stitching. So I just moved straight on to the letter I, which is like an ice cream girl here. So that is what I'm working on at the moment on this one. There's lots of sparkles in it. It's on a very sparkly fabric. This is a 16 count strange fabric that I would not purchase again, and I'm not going to delve into it because I've spoken about this fabric many times, but it's essentially a faulty fabric that is not actually an even weave, but it works for patterns like this where you've got small motifs and it is super sparkly. So it works for this project. This is all being stitched in DMC and Kryneck. So that is all of my stitching to share with you today. I feel like I've breezed through that rather quickly considering how many projects I've shared with you, but there we go. All the stitching is done. I don't have any haul. I've been pretty good. I've not bought anything in the month of Feb, I don't think. Other than paying for my Wordy birds, because with that sale you get the notification that the pattern is ready, but then you have to pay to then download it. So I did purchase my March Wordy bird pattern this month, but other than that, yeah, I've done no shopping, but I do still have some goodies to share with you. So Hobby Jobby sent me a message and asked if I'd like to receive one of their mystery boxes. Now, I didn't know that Hobby Jobby do mystery boxes. Like, I've used Hobby Jobby for years to buy my Nurge hoops, and a lot of my Luca S and Letty stitch kits have come from there. Some have been gifted, some have been purchased. I've purchased loads of Christmas ornaments from them. A couple of Christmases ago. Yeah, they always have really good pricing, a lot of choice and a lot of nice things on the website, but I did not know that they did mystery boxes. This was news to me when they contacted me and asked if I would like to receive one. So of course I said I would love to receive one. And this is my box. So it arrived in the post and Adam had opened it. So the box is open, like he had opened it. I was away at my mum's when it arrived and Adam took the delivery. He opened my parcel, naughty husband. And then I had to say to him, I was like, I haven't been shopping. I was like, Hobby Jobby have sent me a lovely gift. And he did believe me. But here it is. I thought we could unpackage it together. So here is my Hobby Jobby mystery box. I did actually open it on camera, but it was really clunky and quite a lot of the little accessories were in packets that are really crinkly. So I thought to make it just go a bit more smoothly, I packed it all back in the box and I'm just going to open it again in this sort of top-down view, which I think will be a bit easier to show you. But I have got some lovely things in here. So if I open the box, obviously remember this is packaging free. I have unpackaged the accessories. I've got this beautiful bead tray by Wonderland Beads. So it's a cat and it's got 6 different compartments in it. And then it's got this acrylic cover that attaches with magnets. So you can organise your beads in there, put lots of different beads in, like if I'm stitching on a fancy lady. And then I can just snap the magnetic cover back on top and there's like no gaps and it will keep all my beads lovely and safe in between stitching. So I absolutely love that. That also came with this cute little stitching blank in the same packet. So that is my first item. Next, I got this lovely wooden needle threader. So this is like a little owl needle threader, really super cute. And it's quite chunky, easy to hold, and too big to lose. So that is that. I got a set of millward embroidery needles. New needles are always useful, and there's plenty of them in that packet. Looks like there are a couple of different sizes as well. And then I've got 3 kits, which I was quite amazed by. So the box I've got here is the medium box. That is what they've sent me. They do 3 different tiers of these boxes. They do small, medium and large, but they call them bronze, silver and gold. So this is the silver box. And so I've received my 3 sort of accessories, and then I've got 3 kits. The first one is the Glitter Mountain kit. This is a Hobby Jobby kit, and it's got this lovely design of the mountain with the clouds. Really pretty. My second kit is a Luca S kit, and this is the Fairy Needlewoman. So this is really cute, this little sewing fairy with all her goodies. And I always love how Luca S sort of wind their threads onto these thread cards. It makes them super easy to use. So that is kit number 2. And then my kit number 3 is this lovely Hobby Jobby branded Inner Spirit kit of this lady in her like meditative yoga pose, looking very zen. And I've just recently started going to my yoga classes again after a very long break. I've been trying to go to at least 1 a month, a bit more if I can. So yeah, I really, really love this design. Again, I can't see the threads in that one, but that is another Hobby Jobby branded one. So just to summarise, as I said, I've got 3 kits. And this is the silver level box, and along with my 3 kits I got 3 accessories, and these boxes are currently, at the time of filming, 25% off at Hobby Jobby, and they are $29.99 for the silver box. Bronze option is a more economical option, and then you've got the super duper gold box, which is more expensive, but this is the middle of the range box, so you can see what I got. And at the moment this would have cost you $29.99. Contents are random, lucky dip and mixed, and I did ask Hobby Jobby for some clarification on that in terms of number of kits, number of accessories, and again that is variable. So some people in a medium box might even get 4 kits, but they might get smaller accessories or less accessories, because obviously like this is quite a beautiful thing. If there had been smaller accessories in here, I may have actually received 4 kits. Likewise, if you have some like really big fancy accessories, there might be, you know, less kits. You might get 2 kits and get more accessories. So it is lucky dip, and it's just a nice idea if you sort of want to treat yourself but don't necessarily know what you want. You can't make specific requests, but I have been advised that what you can do is send a message along with your order if you like, and you could perhaps suggest some generic things that you like. For example, you know, I like the colour green, or, you know, I like fairies. Yeah, there are no guarantees, but I have been told that you can make small suggestions along with sending your order. So there we go, that is my Hobby Jobby box. Really, really fun to receive. That is everything I've got to show you. So I think the only thing left would be to touch on a little bit of life update, which I've kind of already started as I've been chatting along. Enjoyed the holidays with the kids, had a good time, went to my mum's. We also went to a few days out closer to home on the days I was home. So we went to the safari park, which has reopened for the season. That has like an amusement arcade as well and rides. So we went and did all of that on one day. We've been to the little farm park with the indoor giant soft play that we have a pass for, so we've been there a couple of times. Yes, the kids have been keeping me very busy. In between all of that, Adam and I have rearranged our entire living room, so I'm in my main living room today, and you can't really see much of it, but I'm sat on a new sofa. So we've replaced the sofa with a big corner sofa, and that involved having to switch around the entire room because my cross-stitchy corner with all of my storage for my bits used to be over there, and with this sofa in this position you couldn't fit it there. So yeah, we've had to sort of move around the whole room. but I really like it. I have to show you at some point. It's a slight mess. The kids have left some chaos around. I'm not going to show you today, but yeah, I'm liking the new layout of the room. What else have we had going on? Lots of puppies in the house, keeping us busy. So yeah, nothing else majorly too exciting. As I said, it's my birthday today. I'll show you my flowers a bit closer up just because I think they are gorgeous. How beautiful are these? I love them so much. And these are not from Adam. Adam did get me a gift, which I opened this morning. But my flowers I received on Wednesday from my lovely friend Tracy. We met up and went for a bit of a pamper morning as my birthday treat. So that was part of my treat from Adam, is that I had this pamper morning. And yeah, my friend Tracy and I went to Leamington Spa to a place called Spa Float. I think that's the name. And it's like a little wellness centre, and they do lots of different things. But we had like the sort of pamper morning package. So it was 2.5 hours of like treatments or activities. So we arrived and we filled in the various forms we needed to do, and then they give you a robe and like sliders to put on. We went through into an infrared sauna, so we shared that together. Like we had a 30 minute infrared sauna session where we just sat together having a chat and a gossip and a catch up. We then parted ways and I went off to do some floating, which was a really interesting experience. Tracy had told me about going floating a while ago and I really wanted to try it. So yeah, it was great. I loved it. Like, Google it if you don't know what floating is, but you're basically in a pod and it gets filled with water that has a very high concentration of salt, which makes you float. So yeah, you're in like this little tank and you're floating, and like even if you like try and sink, like you can't sink, basically you can't sink. And I had a 1 hour floating experience in the salt tank, and it was like so peaceful and calm. All the lights go out and the music goes off. There's like music and lights for the first sort of 5 minutes, and I think different places do it slightly differently. The woman told us when we were there, but this particular experience was my first experience of floating. And the way they did it at this place is that when you get into the tank, it's actually empty. So she did say some places you just step into a tank that's already got water in. They do it so that you basically get into this pod and you lie down and the pod is completely empty. And then it starts to fill up. So it's like a really weird feeling that as it fills up, obviously at first you're on the bottom of the tank, and then until the water gets to a certain level, you don't start to float. But yeah, it was an amazing feeling that you actually felt yourself rising off the bottom of the tank as it gets full enough for you to start floating. Once it's filled to its like maximum, which is about like 10 or 12 inches of water, then the lights go off, the music goes off, and you just floating in complete darkness. There is like a panic button to put the lights on if you want them on, but I kept them off the whole time. And then when it's like the last 5 minutes of your session, the lights gently dim up, the music comes back on to sort of indicate to you that your session is finished. And then the tank drains again while you're still in the tank. So then that was like the weirdest feeling after floating like weightless for an hour. Then the tank drains, and as the water level gets lower and lower, like you literally feel gravity coming back to your body as you get lowered back to the floor of the tank. But yeah, totally enjoyed it. My skin felt amazing afterwards because you're just like in all this salt water. It was amazing. I loved it. My hair didn't look so good because obviously your hair gets full of the salt, but they have like a nice shower there, so I had a big lovely shower after, like washed all my hair, and then went off for an hour's massage. So yeah, I finished with an hour's Swedish massage, and the lady that did my massage also practices like Reiki and reflexology, and there was a few interesting things that she mentioned to me while she was doing my massage, like certain questions that she was like, do you mind me asking? She just asked me a few questions about certain very specific things that she said she could read and pick up just while she was working over my body in the massage, like particularly like my feet and my hands. There were certain things she asked me about that I was actually like, wow, like how could she know that just from looking at my feet? It was quite crazy. So yeah, it was a really good overall experience, really interesting. I'm definitely going to go back at some point, probably not for like the whole package, but I would love to nip back there and do the floating again at some point, like on its own. Yeah, really, really enjoyable. So that was like my birthday treat. I've had a few gifts and presents. I've not had any stitchy presents other than my nice gifted box from Hobby Jobby. But I've had some other lovely things. Adam and the kids got me like some really cute, nice fluffy pajamas that the kids gave me this morning. Adam also got me my little wellness day that I've already had. And my mum and dad bought me the most amazing new like office chair / gaming chair. It's really comfortable, and like literally they asked me what I wanted and that was the only thing I wanted. I was like, I really want this chair. So yes, I can now be at my desk in comfort because my old office chair was literally falling to pieces. Not ideal when I'm sat at the computer for any length of time. That is my life update. I think I have probably babbled on for long enough. I will finish off by saying a huge thank you to everybody that has mentioned me recently. I have been tagged in various Flosstubes. I do need to do a little bit of catching up with them all, but I am slowly getting round to watching them all, as well as watching all my usual favourite fellow Flosstubers. I would also like to say that anybody that is joining in the Floral Fridays sale with myself and Charlie Feathers, I have been a little bit quiet on that, and you notice that I haven't shown you any Floral Friday stitching from the entire month of February. Have been a bit naughty with that. It has literally just been that on every Friday for the last month there has been something going on that has stopped me from stitching. So I'm aiming to do better in March with my Floral Friday, and I hope that any of you that have been doing it along with us don't feel abandoned. I know Charlie has been better than I have been at keeping up with it, but I am going to do my best to get back on track with that for March. In fact, before I say a complete goodbye, I would just say I'm quite pleased with myself for February. So my sort of soft goals for February, because I didn't have like whip go or anything, but the little goals I'd noted down here in my book were to finish the January Wordy birds, which I did, to finish my creepy Valentine, which I did, to start the February Wordy birds, and I both started and finished it, so that was like a double tick. And my fourth goal was to catch up on my siren sale, my Bella Filipina Mermaid siren sale. That is the one goal that I have failed to work on at all. I've not made any progress on that. So that I'm going to roll over to March. My goals for March are going to be to finish the March Wordy birds, to make some progress on my siren sale and actually pick it up, to finish my bookmark, which I'm hoping to have done real soon, like in the next day or two, finish my bookmark. And then my fourth goal, because I'm trying to like not set more than 4 goals, I think my fourth goal will be to make some more progress on that dragon koi. It would be really nice to be edging ever closer to a finish on that. It would be really doable for me to finish that this month. It just depends on how much time I dedicate to it, because I do also really want to finish the Wordy birds and make some progress on my sirens. I am falling so far behind with the siren sale that it is just embarrassing at this point. Other plans for March are that I am going to the Essex retreat. I nearly forgot to mention that. I'm super excited. I'm going to the Essex Needles retreat. So really looking forward to that. I'm going as a stitcher and a shop, but I'm only going to be opening my shop there on the one day, on the Saturday this time. It was quite full on, like having the shop open for more days last time, and then it means that I don't get to really see or speak to anyone like at the tables, and I don't get to stitch a lot. So this time I am going to be doing, I will arrive on Friday as early as I can, and I'm just going to be able to stitch and basically have the Friday as a lovely stitchy day. And then I'll get up early on the Saturday, get breakfast out of the way and stuff. Then I will set up the shop and have the shop open on the Saturday. And then on the Sunday again, I will just chill out and be able to stitch. So I'm hoping that it's going to be as great as the last one was. I really enjoyed the Essex retreat in September 2024. I'm hoping March is going to be just as great. Really looking forward to it. Looking forward to catching up with people. And just having a lovely retreat. It is my first retreat of the year. I've got 2 others booked for the remainder of 2025, which is the Essex one at the end of the year in September. And I'm going to Floss Friends, I think, in October. So yeah, first retreat of the year. Looking forward to that. If any of you are going to the retreat, then let me know in the comments and I will see you there. To everyone else, I will see you hopefully mid-month. I'm planning on getting back to my bi-weekly schedule, but we will see. With the retreat coming up that is also close to mid-month, those sort of few days before I go to retreat, I will be really busy like packaging things up and getting the shop ready. So it may end up that I have another single video in the month of March at the end of the month to do a full month roundup, but we will see. I'm going to play that one by ear. Take care everyone. I hope you get some lovely stitching done in this lovely month of March. I am sorry if you've just been hearing my dogs bark for most of this episode. I haven't mentioned it, but they are literally just like play fighting. I've been able to hear them quite well, so especially if you're wearing headphones, I apologise on their behalf. Take care everyone, super happy stitching, and I will see you soon. Bye!